heard Dave Asprey in several other podcasts. So I put his book on my list of to read, but then the big thing that pushed me to read it lately was the tip from Vishen Lakhiani's book, where it said about meditation, how you can go to the Zen level meditation with one aspect of one tip, one trick, right? So that's when I was like, wow, that's amazing. So anyway, that's why I started reading it. Plus, I wanted to know all the other rest of the biohacks he has. He's a biohacker. So the theme of the book is our Meet operating system, Meet OS. He's an IT guy, tech guy, original tech guy. He built or was involved in successful companies, I believe, startups or built companies, or was key level guy in companies. I didn't read that part of the history, but from his book, that's what he says. And I believe that's how we originally built his wealth before he got into this whole health or health in-depth research that he did, worked on himself, all that stuff. A lot of information. If you go by all his I guess basically all his advices and on all the stuff you need to do and to be in the peak health. There's a lot of supplements. Evidently, I think he said like 150. I don't remember. I got to go back and look at the book, but I believe he takes 150 supplements a day in total, or something like that. Somewhere like that. It's crazy. I take 3 or 4. And mostly I try to, I eat healthy, not try to. I do eat healthy, organic food, mostly plant-based. And that's where he kind of deviates. He talks a lot about meat being an important piece because he was a plant-based guy at one point I believe he said he did it for 18 months or so, which in my case, I've never been 100% pure plant-based. I go like, I would say 70 to 80% plant-based and then 20 to 30%. I eat a little bit of meat, eggs, more like that, a little bit of dairy, mostly raw, all organic dairy kind of deal. So anyway, the big thing he goes into why meat is so important, what all the stuff it has. Again, I think one of the things he also says, I agree with, is you just can't go by someone else's advice or how their body performs. You have to test it yourself, right? Test out what works for you and do it. And that's one of his themes too. But the 2 things I would say, key, critical things I've learned, I've implemented immediately is DAC or DAKE, the vitamin. So vitamin D, A, K1, K2, and E. How that's a combo. You just can't take vitamin D, because I was taking vitamin D regularly just to immune because you can't stand enough in the sun to get enough vitamin D. Although you could spend 20, I don't know, something, I think he says 20 minutes or so minimum to get the right effect of vitamin D, which is in these days, unless you're working outside, I guess it's not possible for most people. Let's not put possible for everyone, but most people, I would say, dedicating that time to sit in the sun and all that stuff. But anyway, how he describes that DAKE combo works well together to formulate everything you need as far as the vitamins, right? So I started doing that. I immediately bought from his thing. So one of the things that popped in my mind is, hey, for everything he prescribes, he has a solution. Obviously, he sells those, right? So it could be marketing thing, right? So that's one of the things could be, right? But that's, again, he goes at the end and tells that, right? Hey, look, it doesn't mean, whatever I say is accurate or will work for you. You have to experiment. You have to understand your body. And I 100% agree with that aspect. Because for me, like David Sinclair, he's 100% plant-based right now. And based on, how Dave Asprey looks versus Dr. David Sinclair looks, same age range, I kind of tend to follow, Dr. David Sinclair's methodologies. right? His advisors than Dave Asprey. Now, Dave Asprey has great aspects, how he looks too, but he does look 50, versus I believe, David Sinclair is 50 something. He looks 30, right? Even, so anyway, but his ultimate tip about meditation that really, I believe, has also changed me. I didn't understand that aspect, but I started implementing and I saw immediate results, is forgiveness. Critical. Once you start forgiving and embracing the people you dislike, whatever issues, all of a sudden your meditation goes to that tenfold, like people who have been meditating for 10 years or so. I don't know about that. I've been meditating over 5 years now consistently lately. I average about probably 30 minutes a day on the total meditation, different aspects to it. I do. And also kind of got into a lot more into being present in the moment a lot lately in various times of the day, right? Not just meditating, right? So maybe that also helped me, but I'm like deeply, last week or so, since been reading this book and implementing the whole forgiveness, I feel like it has gone to a different level, right? So what that itself is worth gold in my mind. So just nothing else, even if you don't read the book, if you understand how forgiveness will take your meditation to incredible level, if you truly embrace that and understand how to forgive and embrace the people you wrong you, whatever, right? For yourself, not for them. Remember that, right? Anyway, great book to read. I don't know if you can implement everything in here, or I would even advise to implement everything in here, because I'm not. I'm going to implement few things. Like I already said, I'm implementing those two things. That itself is incredible, I think. That itself is a game changer, I believe. I might read it again and follow some other stuff or listen to it again, whatever the case is. But, definitely highly recommend reading this book and picking the parts you like and maybe implementing those. All right. Hope you read it, though.